Hello again, my most amazing artists. Today, we are going to be working on creating our very own sketchbooks out of just some paper and some scissors. Let me show you how that's going to work. Okay, for this project, you are going to want about 10 or so pieces of white paper. You can use construction paper or copy paper. If you wanted to make a notebook, you could even use lined paper. You will need a pair of scissors. You don't need any glue or tape or string or staples. That's my favorite part about this design. And you're probably going to want something to add color to the cover of your sketchbook. So I have some markers and some crayons. You could use colored pencils, whatever you have. Okay, for starters, I'm going to set just a few of these pieces of paper off to the side, but I am going to fold everything in half. So I'm going to bend it over, and this is why I would not use more than 10 sheets of paper because it can be very tricky to fold this much paper at a time. So I'm lining up those corners, and I'm creasing it down the center. Try to make sure everything is lined up before you make that crease. Okay, now a few of these pieces I'm going to take off, maybe 2 or 3 of those pieces. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 2 pieces that I have here, and I am going to kind of create a shape in the center where I'm going to cut a very, very thin shape out. So here's what I mean by that. I'm going to draw this with a marker, but I would highly recommend that you use a pencil for this step. I just really want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to cut about 2 inches off of either side on that other paper here in just a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in right about there on both sides. And you can see that one's a little bit further out, so I'll do it here. That seems okay. So I've made a line there, and then I'm going to curve down. So I'm going to cut like this long, skinny rectangle out. See that? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right on that line. And remember, this is a small stack of paper, just 2 to 3 papers, not very many. I'm cutting right along that line while it's still folded and cut that shape out. Now, if I were to open this, I would see a shape like this inside, right? I see my rectangular shape cut out. Our other paper is going to slot inside this hole. Here's what I mean. I'm going to set this paper on top, and I'm going to mark where my hole ends. So I'm going to mark right here, and I'm going to mark right here, and I'm going to cut down to those lines. So I open it, I'm going to cut to that dot, right down the center. Cut to the dot. Okay, now I have something that looks like this. I've got these flappy bits. They're cut on both ends. Now, with this paper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll up the sides, almost like a tube, and I'm going to slide this in like a key into my open rectangle. So watch close. I'm going to slide this side in, and you're going to have to kind of be gentle. Push slowly, pull it through, like so. Then, all I have to do is fold my new sketchbook shut. Okay, now if you find that things aren't lining up exactly how you had hoped they would, you can do a little bit of trimming, but don't go too crazy because it's very easy for this to fall apart if we do too much cutting on it. Now, this is now a book filled with paper that I can use to sketch on. So, on the cover, I might want to add maybe my name or my initials, something like that. I could even write the word art. So my initials are BGD. I could do some box letters, or I could do some bubble letters like these. So how do we do that? I'm actually going to turn mine sideways, I think, and draw it where the opening is. Now, again, you would probably want to use a pencil for this. I'm going to put my scissors out of the way. Okay, check it out. I'm going to start by very lightly drawing the letters that I want on my sketchbook. That way, I know they're going to fit, and it's going to help me with this next step. Now, if you're pretty practiced at making bubble letters, you do not have to do this step. This just helps us create those bubbles or box letters. So I start by drawing those letters just like I regularly would in print. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around each shape and each hole. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to step away about 1 centimeter or so away from that line and curve around the entire letter. Connect there. Now look, there's a hole inside here. I need to go to this part of the line too. Same thing with my R. There's a hole here. I need to make sure I get the inside too. And then again, same thing. I'm going to go around the entire line. And that is how you create a bubble letter. If it's a box letter, you're going to do the same thing, but instead of rounding it on the ends, you're going to turn it into like a rectangular shape. Now, all I have to do at this point is erase all of the inside lines. Again, if you just want to go ahead and jump straight into making bubble letters, you can, but you want to make sure they fit. So like I said, I wrote the word art, but you could write your name, you could do your initials, you could write something you love, but give this a try. Decorate the color with things that you find interesting or designs that you find really cool. It's kind of up to you. Okay, so I'm erasing that inside line. Now I can come back and I can add color. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to speed it up a little bit and we will see what this looks like when we're Okay, so now we're finished with our sketchbook cover and we can go ahead and open the first page and start our newest drawing. Have fun, my most amazing artists. I hope you enjoy making your sketchbook and using it and filling these pages with lots of fun drawings and sketches and wonderful ideas. Until then, see ya!